All right, let's jump right in. We are not talking about just another productivity app or some fancy new planner. Nope. We're talking about something way bigger, a genuine brain prosthetic. The idea is to use artificial intelligence to completely change the game for managing ADHD. Seriously, this is a whole new world.
So, to really get why this is such a big deal, we need to talk about what the ADHD experience actually feels like. For a lot of us, it's just chaos. It's this constant, overwhelming flood of ideas, tasks, and thoughts, all screaming for your attention at the exact same time.
Does that sound familiar? You know, you're trying to remember what you need from the grocery store, but you're also mentally writing an email and thinking out that weird sound your car was making, and then, bam, a random memory from third grade pops in. And the kicker? Every single one of those tabs is playing a video, and you can't find the close button on any of them.
There's actually a clinical term for this. It's called executive dysfunction, and it really hits the nail on the head. See, the problem isn't a lack of thoughts or creativity. It's the exact opposite. You've got an abundance of them. The challenge is with the brain's front office, the part that's supposed to organize, prioritize, and, filter all that brilliant chaos.
And that right there is why the usual advice, like just buy a planner, almost never works. That planner just becomes another forgotten tab in your brain. It doesn't fix the core problem, which is the filtering. So what we need is a tool that actually works with the way our brains are wired, not against them. It is absolutely time for a new approach.
So, what's this new approach? Well, imagine taking that chaotic front office in your brain and just outsourcing the boring parts. That's exactly what we're talking about. We're going to build a second brain using AI, one that can act like your own personal external prefrontal cortex.
And here's why AI is the perfect candidate for this job. It will sort your grocery list for the 1,000th time, and it will never, ever get bored. It's not going to judge you for asking it to plan out your morning again. And it never, ever loses those mental keys, that brilliant idea you had in the shower. It's basically an assistant with infinite patience. Okay, so the theory is cool and all, but let's get practical. I'm about to give you 3 real, concrete strategies you can use with your new AI brain, like today. These aren't some huge long-term projects. They're quick daily wins that are designed to give you that little hit of dopamine you get from actually finally getting something done.
First up, let's talk about that classic moment of total paralysis. We call this one the ingredient savior. You know that feeling, right? You're standing in front of your fridge, it's been a long day, you are totally drained, and the thought of just deciding what to make for dinner feels like you're being asked to climb Mount Everest. This is the magic spell. You literally just list what you have in the fridge. A couple of eggs, some spinach, maybe half an onion, and you give it this command. And just like that, the entire burden of decision-making is gone. You're not planning a meal anymore, you're just following one simple instruction. No decisions, just action. All right, let's move on to win number 2. This one is designed to tackle a really common ADHD challenge head-on. Let's talk about the time blindness fix. If you have ADHD, time can feel, kind of fake. 9 a.m. doesn't really mean anything until it's 8:55 a.m., and then suddenly it's a 5-alarm fire. This strategy helps you externalize time so you can actually see it. The prompt itself is so simple, but so powerful. You just give the AI your deadline and the things you need to do, like shower, find your keys, you know the drill. It then works backward and tells you exactly what to do right now. It transforms a vague future deadline into an immediate, concrete first step. And now for our third and final dopamine win for the day. This one's called the Tone Translator, and it is an absolute lifesaver for any kind of professional or social communication. I mean, how many times have you just stared at a blank email completely paralyzed because you're terrified of saying the wrong thing, so you just don't send it at all? Here's the secret. You don't have to write the perfect email. In fact, don't. Just brain dump the messy, chaotic, maybe even angry version that's swirling around in your head. Paste it in, and then give this simple command. The AI becomes your emotional filter, and you can just hit send and get on with your life. Okay, so those 3 tricks are amazing, but they're all built on one single, powerful idea. This is the master key. This is the most important mindset shift you have to make for any of this to really work. You have to stop treating AI like a search engine and start treating it like an intern. Think about it. A search engine just dumps a ton of information on you, a wall of awful that just makes you feel more overwhelmed. But an intern? You tell an intern to do the next thing and only the next thing. And that brings us to the core technique, the micro-step command. It's an instruction where you specifically tell the AI to give you only the absolute next step. And then, and this is the crucial part, it has to wait for you. This right here is the ultimate command for defeating executive dysfunction. Clean the kitchen is overwhelming, right? But what if your AI intern just said, first, take the dishes out of the sink and put them on the counter? Well, yeah, you can do that. And when you're done, you tell it, and it gives you the next tiny step. It makes any overwhelming task totally manageable. Okay, so now you have the big idea, you have the daily wins, and you have the master command. You can see how AI can be so much more than a toy. It can be a legitimate prosthetic for your brain. So now it's your turn. It's time to put your new brain to work. So I'll just leave you with this one question. Think about that one thing on your to-do list that just feels impossible, the one you've been putting off for weeks. What is the very first, tiny, simple instruction you're going to give your new AI intern to finally get started on it?